Hello everyone. So welcome back to part 2 of diabetes and periodontitis, the two-way relation between both of them. So today, after the part 2, like how exactly the age and the rage interactions happen and how it increases the glucose level in the body, how periodontitis affects the diabetes level and how diabetes level affects the periodontitis level, all that has been discussed in the previous video. So in the present video, right now we'll discuss the mind maps. Based on that, what are the symptoms seen, what are the conditions which occur in this kind of relationship. So let's dive into that. Okay, now the first part what we are looking at is the relationship between a periodontal disease and diabetes mellitus. Now first of all, when there is diabetes, it increases the risk of periodontitis. Okay, and also if there is already existing periodontitis, it increases the severity as well. Next, it is defined as the sixth complication of periodontitis. So periodontitis is termed as the sixth complication of diabetes, and this is a very important question mark. Okay, now in tab 2 diabetes periodontal therapy. Now when you do periodontal therapy, it increases the insulin sensitivity. That means the insulin uptake is better, and that's how, as we have discussed previously, there is better levels of glucose. Okay, and it gets the glycemic control in hand. Next, how does it affects the diabetes on periodontium? So when diabetes is increased, you can have gingival polyps. There is multiple abscess formation. Now again, when you create a negative environment, the oxygen capability is taken away and there is more of bacteria present, so there is more destruction which is happening, so that leads to the abscess formation as well. And as we have discussed, periodontitis and loose teeth. What else happens? There is reduced defense mechanism, that also we have discussed, so please don't forget to write this. Increased susceptibility to infections, and periodontal disease is considered as the sixth complication of diabetes. Now, what are the classic symptoms of diabetes patients? So now, if you're talking about the classical symptoms of diabetes patient, now in diabetic patient, what are the different scenes? So when a patient comes, usually you can see a thick inflammatory band which is seen. Can you see over here? Can you see this band? So this is something called as a chronic inflammation which happens. So what happens is, here again I would say that because of the collagen breakdown which is happening, there are weak collagen formation which is happening. So because of this weak collagen, what happens is it's very fragile, and it becomes very inflammatory kind of thing. So even a small, like probably the patient is brushing every day, but even a small speck can lead to an exaggerated effect on the periodontium. Okay, so you can have a multiple periodontal abscess, rapid destruction of the bone support. We spoke about the osteogenic, how it affects the osteoblast, how it affects the osteoclastic, how it affects the rankle and OPG, where there is more of periodontal bone resorption than bone formation which is happening. Even the bone formed is a very weak bone, and it is not as strong as a healthy bone. Okay, then that can lead to deep infection and secondary to the periodontal abscess in poorly controlled diabetic patient, and the predisposing factor for periodontal and periapical abscess formation as well. It includes not only periodontal abscess, but can also form the periapical abscess as well. Now, after a hell lot of research from all the universities across the world and individual researchers as well, there is definitely a strong association between poorly controlled diabetes mellitus and periodontitis. Now that being said, in 2017, probably in previous years they wouldn't have included, but in 2017 classification of periodontal disease, one of the major factor which is there included in the classification system itself, like a basic periodontitis classification which includes the grading of the periodontitis, that solely depends upon diabetes, and the other factor is smoking, which we can talk about some other time, but diabetes it is. Okay, now differences in periodontal health between type 1 and type 2 diabetes mellitus. So type 1 is inbuilt because of the insulin incapability, or it's an inbuilt genetic condition which is seen, and type 2 is the one because of the excess glucose intake. So in type 1 you can type 2, what is the different you can make? You can have the glycemic control management. If you control that, automatically your periodontitis is controlled. It also depends on the age and the duration of the disease. Like at a young age, technically you would not have type 2 diabetes because it builds up over the years, but type 1 is right from the beginning, and it is definitely associated with periodontal disease as well, even if it is a type 1 diabetes mellitus. Utilization of the dental care, definitely every time in a type 1 diabetes patient, if it's from the young, definitely he should visit the patient more frequently than the normal one. Periodontal disease susceptibility, which is seen in both type 1 and type 2 diabetes as well, and the confounding factor which adds to this condition is the smoking habits as well. Type 1 DM patients, that is diabetes mellitus patient, are at increased risk of developing the periodontal disease with the age and severity of the duration of the disease. Now, coming to periodontal infection and diabetic control, acute infection can predispose insulin resistance persisting up to 3 weeks after infection resolution. Now, the worst control of diabetic condition in subjects with severe periodontal disease, which is compared to the periodontal involvement. Now, when there is increased severe periodontal disease, there is a higher incidence of proteinuria, you can see, because as I told you, it affects the other parts as well. Like from the periodontitis, the inflammatory cytokines, they travel throughout the body to create proteinuria, cardiovascular complications. And how does the stabilization of this periodontal condition, that will lead to mechanical therapy. You can also have the systemic tetracycline, and all these together improve the diabetic condition. Now, from a clinician point of view, like if I am taking a diabetic patient, I will definitely follow subgingival washing of chlorhexidine, because that creates a antibacterial effect on the local area. Even though how much ever scaling and root planing you do, there will be some amount of bacteria left which can be adhered with the help of the subgingival washing. So these are the conditions which I follow for a diabetic patient. Now, if you see how it affects the each, like the bacterial pathogens and diabetes, it increases glucose level in the gingival fluid, which has an effect on the qualitative changes in the bacteria, as well as it contributes to the severity of the periodontal disease. And there is increase in the black pigmented species, which is especially traumatic for the periodontal support, that is severe periodontal lesions of type 2 of individuals with type 2 diabetes. Now, next, as we discussed in the previous video, polymorphonuclear leukocyte function, it mainly affects the neutrophil, which is the first line of defense mechanism. And how it affects it, reduces the chemotaxis, reduces phagocytosis, and it reduces the bacterial killing capacity as well. So there is impaired function of the polymorphonucleophils, monocytes and macrophages as well. Now, altered collagen metabolism as well. There is chronic hypoglycemia that impairs the collagen structure and function. It affects the periodontium integrity as well. Now, age formation in hypoglycemic environments, it exaggerates or exacerbates the tissue impairment. So that age, remember that age which we spoke about, that is the advanced glycation end products. Now those, it has an effect on the collagen protein, which does not have a healthy collagen fibers synthesis. So now, because of the weakened collagen fiber synthesis, there is definitely a friable gingiva. Like if you touch on the gingiva, it's very soft, so in that only you can make out. Okay, then the periodontal disease impact, it's how does this impaction happen? So more frequent periodontal attachment loss and in moderate and poorly controlled diabetic patients type 1 and type 2. Diabetics with advanced systemic complications have greater frequency and severity of the periodontal disease. Improved metabolic control of the diabetes after initial phase of the periodontal treatment in type 2, so that has been proven. So these are the researches which is already been proven. And insulin resistance can develop due to chronic bacterial infection in periodontal disease. Now why all this is given is, now these are the few things, if you can remove that extra mark which you can get on in your exams, like when you quote, especially like which article, so the examiner also knows that you have gone beyond a level of reading a normal textbook. So that's why we include articles as well to quote, like from where you're taking this sentence which can be associated with that particular topic. So that's why these are the additional things which you can get only and only in Medi Study Go, where we have curated all the articles related to it, to diabetes and periodontitis especially, and where you can quote it in your examination papers and definitely score more than the normal just reading the textbooks. Now the complications seen in diabetes as well, other complications what in the oral cavity you can see is you have the diminished salivary flow. Because of that it can lead to the burning mouth tongue. Xerostomia due to oral hypoglycemic agents. So because of hypoglycemia, you will be taking tablets that will lead to xerostomia. So because of xerostomia, it can lead to opportunistic infections, especially Candida albicans is very common. So candidiasis is associated with the suppressed free oxygen radical, which releases polymorph neutrophils, and it reduced, because of that there is reduced phagocytosis as well. So coming to the very interesting part, that is the MCQ of the day. It's a very easy one since we have already discussed so much about diabetes and periodontitis. So the sixth complication of diabetes is nothing but periodontitis. I'm not even reading the other option because it's very so evident. But one thing you can remember over here is it was established by Lowe et al. In the year 1993 in his paper. It's a very interesting paper. If you ever feel like reading, you can go back and read like why it is called as the sixth complication of diabetes. So this we have discussed in detail. If you have any more doubts, you can go back to the previous part of the video as well, part 1, where I have spoken about the biological mechanism of how diabetes affects the periodontitis. So flashcard of the day. How does microvascular damage in diabetes contribute to worsening of the periodontitis? Coming to microvascular damage, just think about a blood vessel. Okay, blood vessel. So we know that the RAGE, that is the receptor of the advanced glycation end products, which is there in the blood vessel wall, you can remember that the junctions between them gets weakened. Because the junction gets weakened, there is increased permeability between the blood vessel. Okay, so when this happens, what happens to the microvascular damage starts from there itself. Okay, so when that happens, also the RBCs, so when the flowing RBCs, what happens is there is reduced level of oxygen which is being given to the each areas. So these are the two mechanisms where mainly the microvascular damage happens. So it reduces the blood supply to the periodontal tissues, it impairs the immune response, it delays healing, and it increases the severity of the periodontal destruction. So this much is about the flashcard for today. So that's where we have come to the end of the discussion on diabetes and periodontitis. I hope you all have got the gist of what it is, and if you have any doubts regarding diabetes and periodontitis and how it is connected, please get back to me on the comments. We shall look into it, and there are many more explanation of videos like this on our YouTube channel, the Medi Study Go, and in our periodontology mind maps there is many more mind maps available for you to read. So I would suggest you can go back to your app. You can go back, download the mind map books from the Medi Study Go app, and you can start reading from there. They not only have mind maps, they also have MCQs, there is flashcards, there are videos, and you can also connect directly with the subject matter expert for your learning or easier learning, as you can say. So that's it for today. So don't forget to like, subscribe and share this whom you feel that it can help them. Also, let's get back on this on other topics as well. See you. Bye bye.